guys, thanks for joining me in the kitchen. I'm Anna Rossi, and today we're making Peking duck. This is another one of my family's favorite dishes to order out, but today we're making it in. And if you are new to the wonders of Peking duck, it's unbelievable. Basically, you take a whole roasted duck that's packed with incredible texture, think crispy skin, and a really juicy interior. And then you roll it up in these delicious warm pancakes smothered in a little hoisin sauce, cucumber, and scallion. So today we're gonna walk through the whole process. It can be arduous, but I've simplified it for us. So let's begin with the duck. Maybe one of the coolest things about this dish is that you can have a feast for a family of 4 for under $30. This I found for about $20 at Market Basket. It's a 4 or 5 pound duck that I've gone ahead and rinsed, and also taken a little time in peace and quiet to run my hands underneath the skin, separating the skin from the muscly meat on the breast, and then also on the backside. This is one of the steps that lets you kind of cheat and create this crispy exterior. Something that when you go to a traditional Chinese restaurant, they have taken many steps to pump air in between the skin and the flesh. But by doing this at home, just with a little patience, you kind of can mimic that same effect. So you can also use, I would say too, ladies, take your bling off, because the skin when it's raw is a little bit spongy, and although it has some elasticity, you want to try to not break through it like I did right up here, but that's going to be okay when it breaks off, but you want to keep it intact. You can also use the blunt end of a wooden spoon, or I found these Mad Hungry utensils that I really like. This has a nice soft tip, so it also lets you get in there. Okay, so I have gone ahead, pat this dry. Another thing that is great when you get a whole duck at the market is that you get these great parts in the cavity. So I have a neck, a heart, and a liver. I'm going to saute up the liver with a little shallot and some pork, puree that, make my own pate, and maybe a stock, and use the rest of the duck to turn it into a soup. So great uses for things. Okay. So this is maybe the thing that makes me the most excited. The duck is pat dry, but now we want to shrink the pores, like give it a really nice tight facelift. So here I have some boiling water. Let's see, let's turn this off. Let's pour this over the top of the raw, dry duck and just watch and see what happens to this skin. Oh, it's hot. We're on a boat, folks. Okay, so here it goes right on top, and I have, look at that, how it immediately squeezes around the meat itself, and that's shrinking the pores, and it's going to help us really get that like crispy glass-like texture when we go to cook it off. So I poured off half the water, it's about 8 cups of water, and I'm just gonna do the same on the backside. Look at that. That's so cool. I wish that there was a cream that would do that to my face. Don't you? Okay, so I'm gonna let the steam evaporate, and that's going to also help dry out the duck skin even further. The star ingredient that I'm gonna use in the marinade and the glaze is 5 spice. When you open a jar of this blend, it's wild. I mean, there's so much happening in this little jar, and it has a really cool history. It dates back thousands of years. It incorporates the elements: fire, wood, water, earth, and metal, and also flavors: sweet, bitter, savory, umami, and sour. But also literally it has 5 spices. Every one that you buy pre-made is a little bit different in the ratios, but we have star anise, cinnamon, coriander, clove, and pepper. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this to a dry pan, a couple teaspoons. And this blend in particular has a really beautiful floral sweetness to it. So I have ingredients here that are gonna complement that. And I wanna create something that's liquid for the marinade and glaze that I can baste easily. So I have a little turbinado sugar, some maple syrup, some soy sauce, and a little Chinese rice wine. This is a great ingredient if you like doing Asian style cooking. keeping on hand. You can find it at specialty liquor stores or order it online. You will love it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add a little orange zest and garlic to infuse in there. So in everything goes, and we're just gonna create like a little liquidy paste. So speaking of the spice, this blend is from Curio. They're local, they're just outside of Boston in Cambridge, and the owner Claire is a globetrotter, and through her travels, she has sourced farmers from around the world that she uses as her purveyors. So she works in small batch. She dries her spices right here in Winchester. And what that means is you're getting spices that have a lot of flavor. They haven't been sitting in a warehouse for years. And like they say, you know, you should change the spices out in your pantry every 6 months or so because they'll start to lose their flavor, and hers lasts a lot longer. Plus, you're supporting farmers, which is great. Okay, so we're going to steep basically like a tea, a little bit of orange peel and garlic, and just let this not come to a boil, but just a little soft simmer. And I'm just gonna go ahead and crush the garlic so some of the oil and juices can start to incorporate in there. Okay, let's give it a little whisk and then baste this on our beautiful bird. Okay, over here, let's see, let's put this over here. We're gonna pat dry one final time the duck, just giving it the biggest head start to really air dry in your refrigerator for 24 hours or so. I do this with my Thanksgiving turkey, the same kind of technique. You don't cover it, you just let the air circulate around it in the refrigerator, and it is fantastic. So all parts get this little sip of this delicious marinade, which we'll keep on hand and then take out with us to the rotisserie. On the interior, you're gonna go underneath the skin. Be generous every which way. We're gonna enjoy all little parts and bites of this. And then let's give it a little salt. So you could use a kosher salt, that'd be great. But I also found this really cool Szechuan mala salt that was done in partnership with Curio Spice and Mei, which is this adorable dumpling house in Boston, and it has a really nice floral heat to it as well as great salinity level. Okay, so this goes in your refrigerator. Let it sit overnight. When it comes out the next day, let me show you what it's gonna look like. Like this, you can see the skin has gone from this spongy sort of texture to almost leathery. It has like really sucked in. That salt has helped to minimize the moisture in the skin, and this is looking like it's ready for the grill. Okay, so before I get baking, I want to start to add a little more flavor in the cavity. It's just an opportunity to pack some things in here. So I have some ginger, some garlic, some orange, and I just took the green parts of the scallion. I'm using the white parts for when I go to build out these little pancakes for serving, and I just didn't want to waste anything. And the garlic I just sliced in half, and the little paper is fine to leave on there. It's going to get all the flavor still, and you can save yourself the hassle. And then orange, I think, is just a fantastic pairing when it comes to duck, and having that little citrus essence start to steam through is going to be really fantastic. Okay, so I have a little butcher's twine. I'm just gonna tie her little legs together, and when we come back, we'll throw her on the rotisserie. Okay, I'll see you after the break. Okay, just really quick, I want you to know how much it means to me that you're joining me in the kitchen, and I want to know you are here. So drop a comment down below, say hi, let me know you stopped by. Also, give this a like, and my guess is you're a foodie and probably have some friends that might want to gather a recipe or two to add to their kitchen repertoire. So share it. Also, hey, if you have any brands, products, recipe ideas, ingredients that you think we should try right here in the chef's pantry, I want to know. Okay, let's get back into the kitchen. All right, welcome back to the Chef's Pantry. We are making Peking duck, and this is ready to throw on the rotisserie. You could easily do this in your oven, but if you do it inside, what I recommend is try to do it vertically, and that will enable most of the fat to render off, so think beer can style. Chicken, you're gonna do that for your duck. Okay, so, this is heavy. So I've got the grill preheated, I have my back burner going, and then I'm just getting this ready on my rotisserie rod. This does have a little bit of weight to it, so I'm just gonna use some pliers to tighten the bolts because I really don't want any shifting once I start to get this spinning. I have the grill preheating on high. I'm gonna let it go nice and hot for about 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna drop the heat to medium. I'm gonna keep an eye on it, and about every 15 to 20 minutes, I'll come out and baste the skin. And also, if the wings start to blacken a little prematurely, I'll just tint them with a little bit of foil. But in that goes, and then before I turn on the motor, I'm just gonna put a foil-lined baking sheet underneath to catch the drippings and make cleanup easy. Okay, so on it goes, and then if you have a rotisserie, just make sure things are nice and balanced. Got that counterweight that you can adjust so you have a really nice, even, smooth rotation. Is it gonna clear? She wants to clear. She wants to do it. Okay, let's drop the hood and go inside, and should we make some pancakes? Yeah, let's do it, come on. Pancakes. What is Peking duck without the pancakes? When I go out and I order this dish, I never get enough, and now we can make them ourselves, and it's only 2 ingredients. If only I knew for so many years before how easy it was to do this. It's just flour and boiling water. So 2 cups all-purpose flour, 1 cup boiling water, in it goes, and then we're going to just mix it up, and as soon as this becomes cool enough to handle, we'll turn this out and give it a knead. So the Peking duck pancake is difficult to find. Sometimes we've tried to call our favorite restaurant and ask for them, but they're difficult to find at the market. You could use flour tortillas, that's pretty much the closest alternative, but honestly, this is so simple and it's fun. I love working with different types of dough, and the similar type of mixture is something that you could use to make your own dumplings. So it's warm, the water is absorbing into the flour, and it's fun. This would be a great thing to get your kids' hands in. And basically we just want to activate all that great gluten in this so it becomes something that becomes really manageable to roll out. So we're going to turn this out, we're going to knead it on a clean work surface, and then go until, sort of like if you're familiar with pasta dough, until it has a little bit of bounce and give to it. You can see all at once the flour really starts to absorb and the ball becomes much, much more cohesive. There you go. Great little bits and crumbs. Okay, so after you've taken about 5 minutes or so to knead your dough ball, you can put it back in your bowl, cover it with plastic wrap, and then let it rest for about 20 minutes. And I've gone ahead and done that over here. Let me just rub off all this extra flour. Woo! Okay. So this ball has had about 20 minutes to sit, and it's ready for us to roll out our little pancakes. Let me show you how bouncy it is. Okay, see, if you press it, it springs back, just like a nice ball of pasta. And then it has a really easy, smooth workability to it. So 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of water, this will yield about 18 pancakes. Instead of trying to take a guess and chew off little 8 bites one at a time, I'm gonna go ahead and make it easy using a bench scraper, dividing the ball in half, and then again in thirds, and then each one of those again in 3 to get to our 18 in as equal parts as possible. And now it's time to just roll these out, and there's two ways to cook them up. You can steam them, or you can pan fry them in a little bit of sesame or olive oil in a nice dry pan. And I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna get two pans going. So here I have a nonstick pan that I'll drop my olive oil into, and then this Always pan is awesome. It comes with these little dumpling cookers that have the parchment paper. Get that on a slow simmer so it's waiting for us. And then you can use a little bit of olive oil on your work surface or sesame oil, just so it's as non-stick as possible. And then roll them out. What do you say? Going for something about 6 inches. Rustic is okay. Okay, we've got hot cakes, very hot cakes. So combination here of the steamed in our little dumpling steamer, and our pan fried. So I don't know what I like better. We're gonna have a little bit gummier consistency, which you can see on these steamed pancakes, but I like that little char and that color that you get from just like a splash of olive oil in a nice dry nonstick pan. You could also use cast iron. Okay, I can smell duck coming through the door. I'm gonna give it a baste. When we come back, I promise the duck will be ready. We'll carve it up and then bring in all the fixins. Get ready. Okay, just really quick, I want you to know how much it means to me that you're joining me in the kitchen, and I want to know you are here. So drop a comment down below, say hi, let me know you stopped by. Also, give this a like, and my guess is you're a foodie and probably have some friends that might want to gather a recipe or two to add to their kitchen repertoire. So share it. Also, hey, if you have any brands, products, recipe ideas, ingredients that you think we should try right here in the chef's pantry, I want to know. Okay, let's get back into the kitchen. As promised, our duck is ready. Welcome back to the chef's pantry. Peking duck is on the menu today. So this needs just a couple minutes to rest, which I think means it's time for a cocktail. So Peking duck, you know what I think pairs really well with that is a Manhattan, or in this case, I'm gonna make a paper plane. It's an old-fashioned New York cocktail. I made it with Douglas Williams, who's a chef in Boston, over COVID, and it's fantastic. And it's really easy to remember. It's equal parts bourbon, Amaro, and Aperol. And then one thing that I'm gonna add to this is a little bit of orange juice and a little cherry, because I think those flavors pair really well with all the flavors that we built in this duck. And I think after a labor of love like this, we deserve a little bit of spirit. What do you think? So, and it goes into a shaker. And then let's do a little blitz of orange juice. You could also use lemon. I love these cocktail recipes that are equal parts. It's in my wheelhouse for sure. And then just give it a shake. Shake it up until the shaker's nice and frosty, and then serve it over the rocks. I have it with a twist here. A little bit of orange. Look at that color that you get from the Aperol. That's so beautiful. And then I like to support the local Bully Boy. Those guys are great with craft cocktails. And then a sweet little cherry on top. So we're gonna use knives now, my friends. So we're gonna save this until we're ready to eat. We have to finish our knife work before we can take our first sip. But let's take a look at this duck. So this has had about 30 minutes to rest. All the juices have seized back in, and I'm going to break it down. So it's all about the fixings. Okay, let's build it out. Here are our pancakes. I just kept them warm in the steamer, but this is the combination of the steamed and the pan fried. So you can see some have a little more color, some are a little bit more gummy, and it's just a really delicious medley of homemade pancakes. Now, the things that I also love on here are hoisin sauce with a little bit of scallion. So I have a bowl waiting for us. I'm gonna pour this in. This is such a rich, salty, flavor-forward sauce that is a great base when you're building out your little duck burritos. And then let's top it off to make it pretty with some minced scallion. Great. And then let's see, let's bring in the duck and then we'll build around it because she's the queen bird today. Okay, so I have some lettuce leaves just so it pops and it has a little place to live. Let's go ahead and lay our beautiful meat out. Gosh, look at how it glistens, and it is just waiting for us to build it out. You can see how crispy that skin is. I love how it puckers around the joints. So good. And then I like to leave the drumsticks, the wings whole because those are fun to really nibble on. I'm gonna use the breast and some of the thigh meat to build out our little wraps, and then let's just like lick our fingers and enjoy all the great flavors. Okay, so I also want cucumber and scallion. The cucumber is really bright. It's just packed with juice, and it's a really nice, mild accoutrement when you have all these really rich, big flavors. And then if you're doing things prepped out in advance, go ahead and slice things. You want things nice and thin, and then just submerge it in a little bit of water. Vegetables are thirsty, so when you keep them in ice water in the refrigerator, they stay nice and crisp and they keep their integrity. And then scallion, thinly sliced scallion. I was thinking about the size of my pancakes when I sliced up the scallion. And remember, I used the green parts. These are the white parts, but I used the green parts as aromatics for the interior cavity of the bird when I went to roast it. And then we had orange in our cocktail. Why not put orange on the board just for that little extra pop? And then some shaved carrot. If you want a little grated carrot in there too for a little extra crunch. Not quite as traditional, but I think it is nice when you are enjoying these things. Okay, now this is how I build one. Did we get everything? We have the duck, that's all that we really need to get the party started. And then cucumber and scallion. Okay, by the way, the more imperfect, the more perfect your pancakes are, right? Not a single one is created equal. So let's see, we'll go with that one. A little easy on the size. I like to lay the pancake down, do a nice heavy smear of the hoisin sauce, and then I'm gonna lay in a little cucumber, a little bit of this like beautiful bright green spring scallion, and then get in my duck and break that apart. And the bites with the crispy skin are really what I show up for. Okay, and then you just roll it up. And then you eat it. And then you say, I love Peking duck. Guys, this is so good. You can make it. God, this is so good. And I love that you can make it at home. Cheers. Okay, my friends, thanks for joining me in this day that was truly a labor of love in the chef's pantry, and I'll see you next week. Bon appetit.